welcome to the Meadow. I'm Lauren Leese and this is my house tour. We have been working on this house for, over 3 years, and I'm so excited to show it to you. It never has been as clean as it is today, nor will it ever be as clean as it is today. So come on in and I'm gonna give you a tour. I opened my interior design firm in 2007. I am a mom to 5 kids. We have 3 dogs, a couple of geese, soon to get chickens. And so our house is a bit of a menagerie, but that's how we like it. This project has been such a labor of love. As a little girl, I grew up absolutely loving fairy tales and fantasy, and so this is my dream house, and it's all of the things that I have wanted to do in a house for so many years, and so I cannot wait to show you around. There's a little bit of weirdness in there. There's a little bit of pretty, there's a whole lot of neutrals, so if you're a color person, you should go now, but no, seriously, welcome whether you like color or not, come on in. All right, come on into the Meadow House. All right, so this is the foyer. When we bought this 1970s house, we kept a lot of things the same and we also changed a ton of it. So I have a love for 1970s architecture and I loved how the foyer was originally. The one thing we did change about it though is when you originally walked into the house, there was a wall right here, and we changed it so that you could walk straight through the house and see right out the back of the house. I'm sorry, my feng shui friends, I am not following feng shui here, but I do love a see-through house, and so you'll notice throughout the house my focus was on adding doors and windows and making this house as indoor-outdoor as possible. That is what I'm all about. It is my jam. So I will show you how we're doing that throughout the house, but let's start off right now with the original front door that was here that we did not really change. We replaced it with new doors, but we kept the proportions exactly as they were. And it's actually a slider when you first walk in, so that's a little bit different here. Then coming into the foyer, you will notice the floors here. They are, believe it or not, just mortar. I think when we did our whole series showing the renovation of this house, I think every contractor watching was flipping out, commenting, do not use mortar, it's gonna crack. Yes, they were right, it did crack, which we knew it would crack because our people told us it would crack. But I am okay with those cracks. So that is something you'll see throughout the house. I love patina, I love cracks, I love things aging, I love seeing a little bit of wear and tear in a good way. So our floors cracked almost immediately, but I still really, really love them. They feel so warm underfoot, and we did put some heating under here, so it's just like the best feeling in here. I had the foyer ceiling paneled in white oak, and I had a set of closets, built-in closets, paneled in white oak as well. And you'll notice that the ceiling planks go right on down to the door planks. Our contractors, CarrMichael Construction, are incredible. We work with them a lot on our interior design projects, and they just really hit the details here for me. I was a bit crazy about it, and so they're amazing. So if you look, the wood just follows right on down to the cabinet doors. And we took a wall that used to be here when you first walked in. We took that wall down. There used to be 2 walkways around the wall, and we reversed it. So we now have 2 closets on either side of the entry, which is super functional. Oh, we've met my other guy. So this is Cole, this is Fawn, and Honey Bear just walked by there. You might meet her later. You know, they're very sweet pups. So she'll probably follow me. He's probably happy to be here. But and then if you look, there's so much to talk about. This house was such a big deal for me. I was planning it for so many years, for so long, that there is gonna be a lot for me to say. So maybe we will make a short version one day, but for right now, you're getting a long version. Coming this way, I'll take you into what we call the mudroom or the cubby room. We have a lot of storage, a lot of hidden storage in this house, definitely needed for all the kids. This is my kind of storage closet, and this is my husband Dave's storage closet. All of the walls on the front side of the house are made from plaster, and then as are most of the walls in the house. But then I had this structure here that is sort of a mezzanine and a bridge for upstairs, and the closets coming down holding the structure, done in wood. I wanted it to feel as if the plaster existed and then the wood structure got built in at a later date, which it did, but the plaster didn't exist. You'll also notice a lot of stonework in this house. That was something I was so excited about. Again, going into that fairy tale modern vibe, so I'll talk about that in a bit when we get into a room that has much more stone than this room. So coming down this way, this is the kids' cubby room, and it's really, really practical. This is the door that we use as a family. We park over there. We do not have a garage. That's like on our one-day plan, but it'll be a very long time from now. But as a family, we come into this door, so the kids can just kind of drop off their shoes, drop off their backpacks, drop off all their stuff, and then keep on going into the house. It actually is really great. It contains a lot of the mess. And the doors, I know the last house tour I had where I had the same piece of furniture, people were really losing it over the fact that the cubbies didn't have doors on them. But for us, it works really well. My kids would never close the doors anyway. It's really easy for them to just plop things. It's good for people who are lazy about putting things away. The house is a combination of normal doors and arched doors. So I have arched doors in the front. This opens to the front courtyard. These are super cool. They're actually pocket doors. I'm gonna show you how this works. This is really fun. Okay, so you push this guy like that, and then you just slide it on over. Very cool. And it just completely disappears into the wall. I love them. So all these modern doors that we have here are by Titoni windows, and they're very cool and smooth. Hi, we're coming back inside. She's very confused right now. Come on in, sweetie. All right, so this set of stairs leads up to the girls' side of the upstairs. There's another set that leads to the boys, but I'm not gonna take you up there right now. I think we will go to the living room next. How's that sound? Here is our living room. I love this room. This is one of the reasons we fell in love with this house. We changed a lot in some ways and not so much in other ways. The original shape that you see here was here in the living room, but there was no mezzanine. So it just kind of continued down, and where you guys are standing in the foyer, it was just low and flat as it is now, but there was no way to get from the girls' side to the boys' side. So that didn't really work for us as a family. That would have been very inconvenient. Imagine tucking kids in and like having to go up and down stairs. So I really had to think about a way to connect the two kids' areas, and that was by creating a mezzanine. This was one of the things I imagined the first time I walked in this house, because functionally we knew we had to get from point A to point B, but I also thought it could be a really beautiful architectural element. It's sort of a microcosm for what is going on in a lot of the house here, with a mix of the Venetian plaster with the white oak and a very modern feel of the white oak. You see this sort of H structure here, but then this little bit of fairy tale element that you have going on up in the stair railings. That was inspired by stair railings I saw in a house from northern Italy near where my family is from. My dad's side of the family is Northern Italian, and so you will see kind of a lot of those elements throughout the plaster, some of the woodwork, but we did it in a really modern way, which surprisingly a lot of those really old primitive houses do have a really modern sensibility to them. So that was kind of my vibe for the house, and this wall sort of embodies all of that. So my concept was to make this room look as if the plaster had previously existed, and then as if this sort of bridge wall got put into the plaster. So that's why I sort of have the old part being the front wall with all the plaster and this current wall, and then the new part being the white oak planked area. So I thought that was really fun for me. I don't know, people probably don't think that when they come in, but that's what I was going for here. And so now we have this bridge that we can connect the two kids' wings with upstairs. And I did see this in my mind the first time we came in the house, when that space over there that is now the girls' bedroom was just an attic. So it's really cool to see it in the flesh here. And on our floors throughout the house, I'll talk a bit more about it. This is mostly rug, but we have French white oak. And I'll have to show you the room where the rug's not exposed. We laid it in a sort of interesting way here. Before I get to furniture, I want to talk a little bit about what was also here before. This fireplace is original, but it originally was not two-sided. So it was just a typical fireplace. I loved the height of it. Another thing I should explain is this was the first time that we lived in a house before we renovated it, which was really cool because we got to see how it worked before making all those decisions. So this fireplace was something we fell in love with when we lived here. And so we kept it exactly as it was, where all the contractors, everyone kept telling me to take this brick out, but this is the coolest brick that was here. It's from the 70s, and it is like a white, like creamy taupe clay brick, and it's just beautiful. So we kept it and then just ran the plaster right up to it. Then we had a hearth done here. So I wanted a floating hearth, and so we have a hearth made out of concrete, just running the whole way. This is so nice because, again, when the fire's on, you can just cozy up, curl up with it, and it creates a log niche for all of the wood that we need to bring in. And it does take I feel like a considerable amount of wood to get these fires going. I don't know why, it's the way it draws maybe, babe? But yeah, we go through a lot of wood. So I wanted a lot of wood storage, which we do have. Now that I'm down here, we could talk about this coffee table. It is one of my favorites. We had it custom made. It's old wood and a new sort of concrete art piece top. The company that I ordered it from changed their name and I'm forgetting it, so I will try to write that company down in the description, but I really, really love it. Let's see over here. Okay, this is the, if you had to save one thing, if your house is on fire, piece, this would be it. It would be very large and I feel like it would catch fire easily, but this is the piece that I think I would save. It's either Jesus or John the Baptist. We have friends who think different things and different, very good convincing reasons for why it could be one or the other. I like to think it's Jesus, but I'd also be very happy with John the Baptist. Anyway, one of my favorite pieces, so he's got the lambs by him, and then this says Lamb of God here, and it is a very, very old French tapestry given to us, not given to us, but one of our friends who was an antiques dealer, this was how many years ago at High Point Market, Furniture Market, gosh. Before Giselle, so 12 years ago maybe, we were at High Point Furniture Market and we saw this beautiful tapestry for sale at one of our friends' booths, and we just looked at it. It was not something we could afford at the time. And he saw us, kept kind of staring at it, and it didn't sell. I don't know how it didn't sell at that market. And he just said to us, if you really want it, I will give it to you for my cost. And he gave us this piece, like it makes me tear. He gave us this piece at his cost. And I think it's 1600s France, which is just incredible. It's like a museum quality piece. We probably should have something protective over it. But again, that's kind of my philosophy, let things age. And we have it in a corner where it doesn't get too much wear and tear here. These chairs are really comfortable. They're by Verellen. I will talk to you a bit as well about all the materials that are in the house. I tried to go as natural as possible. That's why we've got the lime-based plaster. These are a wool on the chairs. I have 100% linen on our sofa. This is from my collection with Taylor King. It's called the Ladies Sofa. It is so, so comfy, super deep. I like sofas that you can spoon on, but you can do different depths. And it's in a machine washable white linen. And so I love that. It makes me have no worries with all the dogs and the kids and the mess. My dogs are right crazy right now. I've been joined by a friend. Okay, so one of the things that may be curious to you if you're watching is the fact that this wall is pretty much completely blank except for our cross cut out into the drywall up there. And that is because in my business, I am just dealing with color patterns, which I love. All day, I'm dealing with so many different types of styles that when I come home, I just want something really, really restful. And I find the sort of undulation of the plaster to be really beautiful, and I didn't want to cover it up above the sofa, and I also wanted the spareness to draw your eye up to the cross up here. But what's really cool about it is it's a hallway that it's cut into. When you turn the light on at night, you can see it through this room and you can see the cross sort of glowing. And on the flip side, when it's bright, like right now, down here in this room, and that room is darker, you see the light glowing into the hallway. So it's kind of neat. I got the idea when I was up there in the attic and I was in some closet bathroom thing, and there was a little bit of light coming in, not in that spot exactly, but coming in, and then I thought of the ancient Egyptian tombs and the way they did cool things with light, and this is not as cool as that, but I thought, okay, wouldn't it be neat to just do a cross cutout into the living room? So that is why this wall is so generally spare, and there are a bunch of other very spare walls in the house as well, including my bedroom. But for me, I just sort of need that to feel restful, to relax. It may not be everyone's thing, but it's mine in this house. The Chase Lounge is something that I honestly should just call this a jungle gym, because the kids are just like always running up it and jumping off of it and playing around on it, which I love. The channel leather is great because you don't have to fluff it, you don't have to fix it. This room is pretty easy to keep neat because the area that they're doing the most rambunctious things on really can't get messed up. So that's great. And again, the more they scratch it, the more patina, the better that all goes. So I think I'm gonna take you guys around. Is that everything in this room? Do we feel like we got it? Oh, the door. The door is really cool. I should talk to you about this door. This door was one of the things I was so excited about here. And this whole side, I will show you, comes out here and pockets in this way. And then this little guy, so it's gonna make 3 even, I'll show you, thirds, 3 even pieces. So this goes to here, and then this guy goes to here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? All right, there's that.
You got a nice shot of me barefoot.
Oh yeah, you see him. Yeah, so that's the door, which I'm really excited about, and it just comes out to this big terrace here. I did not style the terrace, but it's just kind of pretty unstyled. I haven't planted anything yet. We are just not there yet, so maybe next year when I give you guys a tour, it'll be lush with plantings, but right now it's just the stone and really comfy furniture. Yeah, so come back inside here. We have books everywhere. That is the one thing. I wanted the house to feel really, really minimalist, but we are sort of book hoarders. Book collectors is a much better way to say it. So we have them on all the coffee tables. We have them jammed in libraries and bedrooms. But that is something that makes us feel really at home here. Oh, one other thing I didn't talk about, which I do want to talk about really quickly, is the lamps in here. These are 2 of my favorite lamps. This one I got at Marston Lou's in Georgetown so many years ago. And it's by a potter and it's vintage and I love it. And then this one I got from Anton and K Antiques, one of my absolute favorite antique stores. They're in the UK, I got it online. I was not lucky enough to go there, but I just love it. It's made from an old Chinese jar and it's just really, really beautiful. And you'll see a few others like that in the house. So I'm gonna take you this way. Let's go this way. Oh, I also wanna show you my light switches, okay? This was something I was so excited about. We are calling this our forever house with air quotes. We don't believe we're moving. I'm sure we'll get the comments like, you know they're moving, but I don't know. Who knows, we never know. But we don't think we're moving, and so I really wanted to make this house kind of all the cool things I've done for clients over the years or things I wanted to do. So this is cool. So these are labeled, so when you light these, I'm gonna just have the light go on. So when I turn the lights on, and then you have our sculpture, it gets lit here, and then our tapestry gets lit, and the cool bowl gets lit. And that says Lumos Maxima, a la Harry Potter, and they're labeled. And this one says Lumos Upper Curio, and that's for the little curio cabinets upstairs. And then we have Lumos Bridge for the mezzanine. And then we have the one that says Candlelight, and that is for the sconces. So I don't know, I thought that was really fun to have silly names. People who come visit are like, what is Lumos Maxima? I'm like, clearly you're not reading Harry Potter like the rest of us are. But it's a fun thing to have. Oh, and I should show you something else here, guys. You will see a lot of areas where you would normally have sconces, electrified sconces. We have gone with candlelight instead. That was to sort of encourage better sleep cycles and less blue light at night. So we have candles in a lot of places where you would normally have electricity. It's just a more, to me, an earthier way of living, and we're connected with nature, and it's a bit more fairy tale, a bit more romantic, and I just wanted to live kind of a different way of life in this house. That's some of the stuff I'm talking about when like we get a little weird in here, but so it's not that weird. Oh, and these lights up here are just really flat square recess. Again, it's that mix of the modern square recess mixed with the antique, the romantic, the fairy tale. So fairy tale modern. These, okay, I'll show you here. This is our little storage area. This is kind of mission control. So this is kind of where we keep all of our giveaway stuff, our grocery bags, our supplies, and tablecloths. And we have 2 of these cabinets, which is really nice, keeps us organized. Coming into the kitchen, I love this little closet. This is where we hang our broom, and where, if I can get that back on, that would have been cool if I nailed it, but I didn't, and aprons and that kind of thing. Oh yeah, love that. And that's just really handy right by the kitchen. All right, so let's head on into the kitchen here. And like most families, this is where we spend the majority of our time. And a lot of changes happen in here. So what you're looking at back here, from about this wall, going that way, was the dining room. And where you guys are standing with Dave was the kitchen. And so, I'm making you go in circles here. And so we pushed this wall back a little bit here. So we have the sink on this wall. This is our main sink with a set of double dishwashers, and I skirted the sink. And then we have another sink over there, I'll show you in a little bit. But this is sort of the main sink of the kitchen. We decided to do 2 sinks in this kitchen because all of the kids help clean at night. And with all 5 kids and only 1 sink, we were kind of getting a backlog. So we split it up. We have a pots and pans sink, and then we also have the dishwashing sink. We use that for meal prep too, the pots and pans sink, mostly because it's by the range. So let me walk you through this wall. I'm very excited about this. So we just finished this tile. So it's a really, really cool Italian mosaic marble. And I just love it. It's just kind of, I don't know, imperfect, messed up. And I love the sort of shape, the sort of modern kind of triangular shape to it, trapezoidal, if you will. And for our countertop over here, we have a mix of different countertops throughout the kitchen. But for our countertop over here, we have a marble. This one came from Turkey. And just to kind of give you an example of how I think about the design of this house and how things are and how things wear, this sink came and this countertop here was cracked in half. Now, most of my clients would have said, never mind, we're not keeping it. But I was so in love with the marble itself, the marble that we picked out. And I knew that the chances of it cracking again were huge because it was coming in a crate from Turkey and it's just really risky. That we decided to just keep it and just have the crack patched up. And I love it. It's here. I don't know, it doesn't bother me at all. It just gives it a little character. But that's kind of my philosophy around a lot of this, just kind of live and let live. So there are things in this house, I'll show you that, or I've broken or messed up and we just made them work. Something that has made dishwashing awesome for the kids, and they are messy, let me tell you, has been that we put drain board lips around both of these countertops. So that's really nice because this whole thing gets wet and messy and the drain board just keeps it right on in there. So it's really nice. And now that we have the tile, I mean, it's just, can be a whole wet area, which I love. We did one simple shelf here above the sink. So we wanted one massive open space here for our kitchen where we had a big old dining table for family meals and also an island. I would say that we do half of our meals probably at the island, and there's a lot more seating in that island. There's seating for 7, a lot more seating than it looks. Our cabinets are a combination of new cabinets and new cabinets made out of reclaimed wood. Our cabinets that are on the perimeter of the kitchen are actually made from old French cheese boards. They were boards used to age cheese. So if you look closely on the cabinets, you can actually see the circles where the cheese wheels were aging. So you kind of see these big cheesy circles. I don't know, might be moldy, but it doesn't smell. It actually smells really good. So that's something that I was really excited about, to incorporate that kind of cool reclaimed material with the history. I love cheese, and so the thought that our kitchen cabinets are made out of boards that were used to make cheese just really made me very, very happy. Let's move here into the more working space in the kitchen. And if you guys have watched our silly cooking show, Down to Earth Kitchen, then you might recognize this shot, because this is where I typically do all the cooking with myself and the kids and friends or whoever is visiting. So this island I love. If you look at it, it's kind of not your typical island. It looks very solid here, but what I have going on the sides of the island in order to accommodate more stools is we actually have stools that come in from the sides. So we have 4 stools that go here. There's 7 of us in the family. And then there is one, what I like to call secret stool back here. And I'll show you that. That's this guy here, and that is my stool, usually prepping, chopping there. And then we have another secret stool that just gets tucked away. So we kind of line up stools here when we're all eating, just kind of doing like cheese or appetizers, whatever. We have another stool that hides in there. And then we keep the 7th stool over in our pantry. And this guy and that guy just kind of pop around. But we do a lot of weekday breakfasts before school here, and that's easy. The kids just kind of eat on the sides. And then a lot of like kind of weekend lunch type things here. And then we typically do dinners at the dining table here. The dining table is one of my favorite things. It's a vintage brutalist piece. I'm obsessed with it, and as you can see, it really is not straight, so it has this kind of wavy edge to it. And then also went with vintage brutalist chairs here. These chairs remind me of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's a really hefty chair, and it's a really thick, solid piece here. So I love it. I love all the spindles. One of the things you'll notice in our kitchen that is kind of different and over the dining table is that we do not have a light fixture over the table. That was done by design. I knew that if we had a light fixture, we would not light our candles as much. So we went without a light fixture, and we are kind of forced to light our candles almost every night. And that's one of those things that kind of slows life down and just, I don't know, just makes things feel more old-fashioned. And I love it. So we did little things like that throughout the house to kind of force habits that I feel like would enrich our life. Behind you is our wall of function, okay? So here we have our pantry. I'm not gonna go through all the drawers. Maybe I'll do a what's in my cabinet video later. If you guys are interested in that, just leave a comment, let me know. And then here, what's hidden behind door number 2, is actually the refrigerator. We got a lot of pickles going on right now from stuff in the garden. And then we have, this is one of those little veggie drawers, and then we have freezer drawers down below. So all of this is in the cheese board pine, and here's where you can see those cheese circles. So they're good. I'll smell a little bit. Yeah, there's literally no cheese smell. It just smells like really good pine. That's what it smells like. All right, so coming over here, the island is made out of white oak, and I did not want a single little bit of this storage to go to waste. So even though I have the niche for the stools, I also created an area for the cutting boards down below, and we keep pans over there, baking sheets. And if you come over this window, I saw an image. I think the house was in Belgium, and I just totally fell in love with it. So I had this huge, it's 11 or 12 foot window done. And then with the concrete countertop going all the way across it. And then all below, I just have more of the cheese board cabinet doors, and there's pull-outs behind all of those. I'm typically a drawer kind of person, but I wanted it to feel just really sleek in here, and so I went with the cabinets instead, and I have not actually found them to be too inconvenient, so yay for that. The sink here is pretty cool. This is our prep sink and our pots and pan sink. It is a brass and it's unlacquered, so it just kind of ages. Depending on what we leave in here, it's different shapes and colors, and it just keeps changing. The faucet is a really cool one. It's by Bespoke Faucets, and it's articulating, it's brass. You can see again, there's a huge variation in color. And in the corner, okay, I love me a corner cabinet situation. So if you kind of look at it, we made all of this part recessed in the wall, and by adding this corner section, it makes the cabinets feel as if they're recessed. Even though they're not recessed, they're actually just in our kitchen. So we created this bulkhead to go right around the window, so you don't see any frame around the window. It's just basically a piece of glass in there. And then here's where I keep stuff like our food processor, extra spices, and paper towels, that kind of thing. And let's go this way to the range. If you have watched our Meadow vlogs about building this house, you will know that I found this piece of wood on our property by our barn. I loved it. It's white, deadly had mushrooms and fungus growing on it, so I probably need to work on that there, but nobody has died yet. And so we had this built into our range. And another thing you'll see throughout this house that I just really love, again, that little bit of modern with a little bit of antique. I have a curve that goes like this everywhere, so I'll show it to you. It's outside the house on the wall. It's here with the range. By the end of the job, the guys, the carpenters that we're working with, they're like, "You want the curve again?" I was like, "Yes, I want the curve again." So everyone kind of got it by the end. My backsplash, I got a lot of questions about this. So this is similar to the Venetian plaster that we use throughout the house, but they did something to it to try to make it a little bit less porous for a backsplash, but I've still been told that I will want to replace it and that it's going to get stains on it. They are correct. Plaster does absorb, so you can see all my grease stains. I am a very messy cook, so it does stain. So it's not like something I could necessarily recommend to clients, but I personally love it. I think it's worth it. I don't really care about the stains. You can kind of see the smoke comes up and the exhaust goes out. I don't know. I like it. So, but one day we may have to tile over this if it gets too messy and dirty. And this is our range. It's an AGA and it is an induction. I have been induction for the past 10, 12 years. Once I had one house that I had it in, I just needed it in every house because I got very used to it. Love induction. Let's see, oh, the pendants are beautiful. They're from Etsy and they're handmade out of brown clay. Love them. Oh, you wanna see my microwave cabinet. All right, so I've been trying to use the microwave less, and so we put our microwave behind a door made out of the cheese board. So here's our microwave. We've got more storage down there and more storage in there. And I love this little spot. It's very, very convenient. We do still use the microwave, but not as much because it's not quite as convenient. Coming this way, this is the other side of the double-sided fireplace. We busted through this, and I'm so glad we did. Oh my gosh, during the fall and the winter when we had this, it was so cozy, and it was so convenient to be able to light a fire and have it in both rooms, which was really, really nice. Over here, we have a niche that was originally had a wood burning stove in it, and it ended up being so great to have all of this additional storage here. We use this when we're entertaining. We'll put drinks out here. This is where we keep like all of our like napkins, that kind of thing. And see, I'm kind of messy right here right now. But this is just a really functional space for us. And we've got cabinets underneath, and that is out of white oak. And oh, now is the time for you guys to see what's going on with the floors. I mentioned the hardwood floor situation. If you kind of look down this hallway here, which will kind of lead us to the next set of spaces, you can see that we do not have your typical random length and laid hardwood floors. We have the wide plank, and it is done in rows and then offset. So if you look down this hallway, it's a really good example where you can see it. But we've done that in all of the rooms, so it'll be X number of feet, switch to an offset, same number of feet, or vary it up on offset. So just a different way. I've seen it in some old European houses, and they look like old castles, and I really liked it. This is one of the crucifixes I love in the house. We got so many of our crucifixes with our old house a few houses ago. The Herringer family, we bought the house and they left a ton of really beautiful things for us in it, and so they're really, really meaningful to us. They're mostly from France. We have these really cool clay light pendants. Again, I found those on Etsy. Here's more of the fairy tale railings that I love. Oh, and you have to check out here, there's like a little cross, so you have to check that out. Come on down to the laundry room. This sounds so weird, but I actually don't hate doing laundry anymore. I've found it in here to be slightly peaceful, that like when I'm caught up. When I'm not caught up, it's still terrible. But yeah, really, really love this space. And this used to be, I don't remember what room this used to be. We've added the walls. So we've got our washer dryer, and then we have just an oak countertop here. We've got drying racks here. And in this corner, I did a skirt that I sewed, and all of there's our laundry hidden under there. We've got that. And then I love this little window. Again, that's kind of one of those storybook details that I really love, and a ton of storage in here. We use this laundry room as basically the mud room for the yard. So we keep our boots, we have these boot drawers here, boots and shoes, we hang coats up in here, and in the center portion, we have this old French antique bar, which I have just loved so much. This is honestly not as pretty as it usually is because I have taken all of my vases and put them throughout the house for you to make the bedrooms look good. So most of the vases that are normally piled here are dispersed throughout the house. So that's not as pretty as it will be, as it usually is. And this top is zinc here, and then this is an old oak right here. And I love this. This is where I do flower arranging, and we feed the dogs here. We keep their stuff in this drawer here, and we have their bowls there. Everything is really organized. This space has really kept the house clean, which I love. One other trick I really want to show you, because this is so important, it's really changed my life, is that I created a cabinet in the laundry room for the junk. So instead of, like, this is clean laundry right here. So if I don't have time to clean that clean laundry, which happens all the time, and normally I would have had it on a basket on the counter or something, I now created shelves for the clean laundry that has not yet gotten folded. So this thing will often be just like so packed that I can barely close it, but I love having that because when I walk by, it's not stressful to look here and see all that folded laundry. I can pretend my life is together even if it isn't. The lights up here, I love these. This guy here, They got the little pull chain, again, just a little vintage element there. The floors are flagstone here. Oh, and this wall, I'm gonna tell you about that stone. I promise I will when we get to the next space. That this stone is the same stone we use throughout the house, and this door is really cool. It pockets into the stone. So it's a thicker wall to accommodate that. And then here as the header, we used an old antique French beam for the header there, just kind of going right into the stone. Again, it's that mix of the old-fashioned and the modern that I really, really love here. Then we've got shelves here with our little hydrosols and laundry supplies. But yeah, this room keeps us really, really organized. An arch door here, and this is we do a lot of pocket doors. This is sort of able to separate the dogs and put it where we need to go. And so here's a pocket door here. It's open most of the time, but we can close it when we need to, which is really nice. Okay, and then here we have these really seamless, anytime I did closets inside the plaster walls, just wanted them to disappear, so you'll see that throughout, and they're just a very seamless door. Keep like our
kids' bedroom,
lacrosse stick, yeah, all that. Woo. Kids, Harry Potter under the stairs. Stop that. No. And I hung this for you yesterday. Honestly, this house tour made me get things done that I had been putting off since we moved in. We moved in about 9 months ago, and so we've had a lot of things on our to-do list, and we got most of them done to show you the finished house. You're like our house guests that cause us to get things done. Coming in here, this is our pantry, another space that I'm so excited. I've never had a pantry before. This was serious luxury for us to be able to have this. We've got a freezer in here, and then we have a pantry closet at the end of the hall. Honestly, that's just a big hot mess right now, but it's kind of like an everything closet where we stash things, which is great. It might always be that. So we have random appliances like KitchenAid mixer, stuff that we don't use a ton. And then this is what's been so nice about having this new house for us. So we got a full pantry. Believe it or not, this is a piece of furniture, not cabinetry, that happened to fit this perfectly. I mean, honestly, I think it's a 3-inch situation that we got this bad boy in for. And it was very inexpensive and just fit perfectly. Look at the ceiling, it just barely fit here. So because it's our pantry, I do like that I can just at a glance see what's in there. The cabinets are glass and clear, so we just keep all of our stuff in here. It did force me to put our stuff in these pretty little containers with labels. So that's something I feel like I've always wanted to do anyway. And so that was kind of a fun project, just a bunch of mason jars and glass jars. And so yeah, we keep all of our, pasta, drinkware that we don't use a ton, margarita glasses, all the flour. We only bake maybe once a week, but we keep the stuff we use a lot in there. So the stuff that we don't use as much, canned stuff. And then under here is just a whole hot mess of stuff as well, and not the not so pretty stuff we just shove under there. The floors in here are so exciting to me. They are reclaimed cobblestones from a street in Belgium, which sounds crazy, but they really are. And we use them for clients as well. There's this lot of these that we've seen, so we're really excited about that. The walls in here, these are buttercup wallpaper. I hand drew this myself. It's from my collection with One Kings Lane. And the buttercup paper here, I actually drew that when I was in the car on the road trip going to Illinois in the summer. I love wildflowers and weeds, and so my textile collection is based on some of my favorite weeds and wildflowers, and this one is the buttercup. The ceiling here, it smells really good in here, is a cedar, just a rough cut cedar. It smells really good, which I wanted for the pantry. And then this is our herb drying rack from our shop, Lauren Lease & Co. I think the girls put clover hung there, and so it'll be clover tea soon. And then we have a freezer, which is great. We have a lot of stuff stored in there. I've been trying to get better about making meals and freezing them, which has been nice. All right, are you ready to see the family room? This is probably the room as a family we do hang out the most, I would say, together in. It's just a really cozy space. The ceilings are 8 feet in here, which they are throughout the main areas of the house except for the great room. And on the ceiling in here, you may recognize we have the cheese board again, the pine cheese board, mixed with antique pine beams in between. And then this room is different. We have stucco on the walls instead of the plaster. And I love the stucco. It's a little bit, I don't know, stonier, heftier, more rustic feeling than the Venetian plaster. And so this is kind of a more casual space of the house. So I want it to feel a bit more casual and a bit more primitive in here. So I really, really love how it feels. When the team was doing all of the stucco work, I told them to just mess up all of the edges, mess up as much as they could, because I didn't want, these guys could if they wanted to just do a perfectly clean line, but I wanted it to look handmade. I wanted it to feel older. So throughout, you're gonna see purposefully, it is not flat. There are no perfect edges, no perfect corners. We do our movie watching in this room, so I will show you over here. This is a window that we had cut out. Oh, by the way, we were standing in what used to be the garage. So this was a garage, and now it's our family room. We have a recessed screen here. I'm gonna let it go back up. And we project movies onto that. And that's where we watch our movies. In this room, I have a couple, it's about a garage size, so maybe 22 by 22 or 20 by 20. A couple different seating areas. That is one of my favorite things when I have a big enough room to do it in. As a designer, it's always exciting when you don't have your typical floor plan, when you can do things that are a little bit different. And so I love this little spot over here, which Dave and I, we've come here, remember we had like tea, like one of the first nights, like hot tea. It was so nice. We just like hung out here and we pushed him closer and just like read, and it's a nice spot. So I like that you have the sort of central gathering space here in the middle, but then I like to create sort of little side areas where people can do their own activities. So lots of times they'll come in here and the kids are kind of all in here together, but sort of doing their own thing. We'll have somebody on the big chase, other people will be playing games over there. So it's just one of those nice big rooms where people have their own space, but it still feels cozy. These chairs are so comfortable. They are the architect chair from my collection with Taylor King, and I based them on, it's a larger, slightly differently shaped version of a vintage sofa that I'd seen. I just love that pretty little shape here. These are also in linen. So again, like I mentioned, we really did try to use all natural materials throughout the house. No polys, just really wanted to keep it as natural as possible. So these are a leather and a linen, and this is a little leather ottoman, and it's actually a slip cover, which I love. I love a leather slip cover because it's such an unexpected material choice. So that is also leather. These are 100% linen, and then we're gonna flip you around and just again. And this whole crazy long bench sheet is wool here. And so I envisioned this room, again, we watch movies in here, so we're all able to kind of like curl up, lay down on this area. We've got spots there, spots there, spots there, and we have a big movie screen. But I really pictured this room when I walked into it as just being able to have a ton of people in here. Hopefully one day when we're grandparents here, this can fit a whole huge family. We entertain, we do holidays with our family as well here, so it's really nice to have a room that can seat so many people. This window to me is one of the most fun things in the house. The whole thing opens up and pockets into the wall, and when we have parties, there are literally just kids like jumping in and out of the house and through the window. It's just really fun to see. We do have screens on all of the windows and doors, so they're pocketed into the exterior of the house. So when we're here as a family, it's really nice to just open up the windows, pull the screen, just relax, and really has a strong indoor-outdoor feeling. And this cabinetry was made by Lucas at Innovative Build. He's an incredible craftsman, and they're just beautiful. They're in white oak. And again, a lot of you'll see a lot of these details that are really important to me when designing a house, but the exact piece of oak that comes down, that is slit from the cabinetry, continues right on down, which is just the most incredible thing. And so we have tons of storage in this room. That was, again, a big thing. We've got games in there, sewing stuff. Dave even has a little office behind one of them. And then this is just a really cool little
careful
secret room. This is our library. And so I honestly got that idea from my daughter when she was showing kids. She would like lean in. But this is our library. It's teensy tiny, but it has a surprisingly large number of books in here. We had an old, huge library before, but this one actually houses more because I measured the books and did, shelves that just perfectly fit the books. So we really have packed a ton of books in here. And this is one of my favorite rooms. So Dave and I were in here with one of our sons last night. I think we just ate dinner in here, just hung out for an hour or two. It's so cozy. It is one of the smallest rooms in the house, but I just love being in here surrounded by my books. You know, books are like old friends, so it's just fun. We had a great talk in here last night, just kind of looking at titles of books and just sparking conversations. Really great. So when we have parties, when we entertain, this is also a bar here. So we have a little mini fridge hidden under there. And then I have photo albums, which aren't quite as pretty like the ones that I've had since I was a kid, but I do love going through photo albums. So those are stashed under here. Another thing you might see is I don't have a lot of family photos up in the house. And again, that's for me because I can't take a lot of visual clutter. Again, I just want to relax. But I love sitting down with a book and going through the memories and that kind of thing. I like to cozy up with it. So that's a little different than normal houses. And so we have the bar here, and then everything is really organized in here by genre, which is really nice. Dave used to be a high school English teacher, and so he will get on me if I ever were to try to color code anything. So it has to actually function, which has been really important with our boys in school now when they need to go find something. So yeah, so we made this little window seat over here. This is this like peachy velvet that I'm just kind of obsessed with here. We have a window out here. And then these antique barley twist stools here, the vintage pedestal table. Another thing I love to do in bookshelves, I've done this for clients before as well, is I love to have at sort of, you know, counter height, maybe 36 or 38 inches, a larger open space for special books like this guy here. So we have like Natural Curiosities or Audubon books. But it's really nice because you can kind of change the vibe of the space and highlight it. Like I have these orange flowers, but you know, you could open up all these different flowers and just like, ooh, that's pretty, see? But orange is good because it's almost fall. Right? It is fall, isn't it? It's technically fall. So I love doing that. And again, that allowed this sort of bar space over here. And then at our bar, we have, let's see, we've got my Gee Daddy up there. That is when he was in the Marines. He's a general in the Marine Corps. And then we have Dave's dad, John, over here, and so handsome. And then we have my dad in the middle when he was in military academy. So we got our three men up there, and I love seeing that. These are something that we got these when we got married. It's old Pottery Barn, and I just loved them. And I felt like this was just the perfect place for them. So we just installed these little flower holders right into here. And lots of times if I don't want actual green things in there, I'll pop in like dried flowers with those the lavenders from there. Okay, and the ceiling wallpaper, I must tell you about that. So this is a Tyrolean wallpaper, very near where my family is from in Italy, and I cannot believe, so if you see the mountains, the Italian mountains, and the goats, and the pattern and the colors are just perfect in terms of vibe and color for what I wanted. Again, that's more of that fairy tale, that storybook that I love. And you know, I talk about not wanting a lot of pattern and color. That is why this room is sort of a little jewel box of pattern and color and craziness and texture. So I do like it. I just need it in, you know, small bursts. So this is my sort of little magical room here. And we'll come on out, and it's open a lot of the time at home. Sometimes it's closed. I don't know who opens it or closes it, but it's always different. All right. Oh, and the last thing here, and these are really comfy swivel chairs here. And this wool guy is just so comfortable. So comfortable. I think when we first got it, the kids broke it from jumping on. We had to have it repaired. So we don't have a no jumping on all the furniture talk, but I'm not sure it's worked very well. This piece is vintage. I love it. I'll have to show you what it looks like when it's on, but kind of just a little straw thing. It's just kind of funky there. In the corner, we have my daughter's toy kitchen. And in that cabinet over there, Dave has a little desk in there. All right, and the Hobbit opening, the Moon Gate. This is something I've always wanted in my house. I just really think it's a beautiful shape. I love the Lord of the Rings. And so I just wanted to bring that into our house again, more of that fairy tale kind of vibe. Come on in. This is the Orangery here. This is where I probably spend, besides the kitchen, the most amount of time in here. Dave and I, when we work from home, we work in this room. Our vegetable garden is out there, and we have, I will show you over here, I'm so excited about it, this sink. It's crazy old stone sink from France. And we can wash our vegetables here. I do a lot of flower arranging here as well. This faucet is actually also from Bespoke, and it is a custom floor faucet for a tub. It's a custom tub filler that we got made to this very tall height to work as a faucet for this guy. If you look closely on here, you can see old like lichen and things growing on it. This is Nubier. He's from our old house, along with the crucifixes. He came with the house from the family from France, and they left that with us. They gave it to us. We absolutely treasure it. And the floors in here, I get a lot of questions about these floors. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. So they're a combination. They're 75% limestone from Italy, from I think a house from the 1700s, reclaimed, and then about 25% stone from Israel. And we got them from Ancient Surfaces, and they're an amazing company to work with, so I would definitely highly recommend them. I love them. Each piece is different. Some are really, really soft and smooth underfoot. The description said they would feel like the inside of a seashell, which is what made me want them. And then some of them are more rough. So we love them so much. On this wall here, let's talk about the stone. I get so many questions about this stone. All right, so this stone is from Frederick Block, and it is a mix of 3 different stones, custom stones that I picked out to try to get this look. So I think I did, let me try to get this ratio right for you. I think I did 70%, I'm gonna talk to you about the grouting in a second, but I did 70% about that medium tone, that sort of golden stone that you're seeing, and then I did 20% the whiter stones that you're seeing, and then I did 10% those sort of brown charcoal stones that you're seeing. Just to get this ratio that I liked. I don't remember the names of the stones, but that is what I did. They are from West Virginia, right near us, and Pennsylvania. So they're very local, but they look, what I was after was Dolomitic limestone. And so it looks so much like limestone from the Dolomites. That's, my family lived in the Dolomites, so I wanted that vibe, and I really think we nailed it. It's pretty cool. And so what we're standing in, the Orangery, is an addition that we put off of the garage. It's basically a glass room. So the sides are fully glass, and then we have the main wall of the house. And then we added this wall, the height is 16 feet in here. We added this wall and made it out of stone. And then have the fireplace shaped out of the stone as well. And if you look at how this wall looks, this is kind of a, once we get this, I had the team do the mortar differently because I wanted it to look as if maybe this hadn't been there and this was a wall that existed, and rain and sun and things hit over time. So down here below in the middle, it is more heavily mortared. And so you can see, you can't fully see the stone there. And as you get out to the edges, it becomes less and less mortar. So it's kind of cool. And then most of the house I did is sort of the medium mortar, which is the part in the middle. And we did the same thing on the outside of the house as well. I thought that was fun. So these crazy chairs here, they are vintage. They're a Renaissance design. They're really big, so I'm gonna show you. They're a large chair, and they're so comfortable. So we kind of curl up here, have fires, have tea in the mornings before we work. I've become, they say over 40, you become very into bird watching, which I have. And so I'll sit here and watch the birds. I put the bird seat out and watch and talk to my bird friends. But these are great chairs. These are one of the things that scared me the most about this house because, I don't know, the velvet and I was a little scared. The damask velvet kind of freaked me out. But I love them, and I can see them from the kitchen through all of that access, that access point from the kitchen. When I see them, they make me really happy, so they're great. Love them so much. Then this table here, she's a beauty. I love this piece. It's an antique, and I actually loved it so much that for my furniture collection with Woodbridge, I had a very similar replica made, and we call it the Forever table. Ours is an oak. This is not oak. I'm not actually sure what this was. At one point I figured it out, but I do not remember right now. But it's a great table. It's really smooth, and this is where we do sort of formal dinners, holidays. When we have friends over, we eat in here, and it's a really special room. The dining chairs are vintage, and I also love these, so much so that you might notice we're missing one of the chairs there because we are going to do a slightly more comfortable version of these. They're vintage, so new ones for my furniture collection with Taylor King. And so they're actually at the factory right now, kind of playing with dimensions and working on those. But they're cool. They're leather, and this part is hard back here, which is really neat. And then they have a really nice comfy cushion in them with Velcro. So these are great. Okay, let me show you my basket pile. All right, so meet my basket pile. I feel like it just keeps growing and it's so convenient for the garden. But when I find an antique basket or even a new one that's a really good deal, it just comes home and goes in the basket pile. And we just use it for vegetables and all that. So yeah, it's growing, it's growing. Here's my mess. I cleaned up the entire house for you except this. I just couldn't face it. I did not clean this room up. And so here's my kind of to-do list, all of my pots and my seeds, all the things that need to go outside. This is an old zinc table, really highly functional for us. We do a lot of our seedlings on here. Here's a really beautiful statue of Jesus, a wooden one. Again, it came with our last house and we just loved him, so we really, really appreciated him. And this oversized light here is just misshapen and amazing. And I just, again, love that primitive addition in the space. And you know, this whole space here, the Orangery, was really just about bringing the outdoors in. I will show you how this opens up, but these two walls completely open up out into the garden. I guess you should come see the garden now. Now would be a good time. And we just love living sort of a garden to table way of life. I don't know, we started living that way maybe 15, 16 years ago, and it's just what makes me happy. And there's the geese, there's the girls. But this is the garden. I will do a full garden tour at some point, but just so you can get a little look at it. We do a lot of dinners out here in the garden, and our tomatoes are gonna be ready soon. I saw some red ones over there. We had a lot of debate on whether or not we would put the Orangery addition onto the house. It is the one addition that we added to the house, and it was kind of a crazy scope, but Dave kind of convinced me that we should do it. And I'm so glad we did, because it is really the room that I can I access my creative side in there. I am growing seedlings in there and then planting them in the garden. I'm pulling the vegetables out and washing them in the Orangery. I'm foraging stuff from our property, bringing it in there, and I keep a lot of my my books and all my seeds and my stones and all my kind of weird natural things all on this wall of storage. And so this space has really kind of given me, it's sort of like my dream room. It's been my spot to kind of let me do my thing, and I love it so much. All right, come on back in here. So we are trying to bring as many bees and insects to the property as possible. We're trying to get as many birds, as many creatures as we can on the property. And so we have been learning, or trying to learn, how to get a true meadow going here. So we've been growing our grass, we've been planting native perennials, we've been putting seeds down, and so that is really why we're so excited to move here. We have 12 acres and we just love being outside here, and so I don't know, it makes me so happy. We have so many bees and butterflies right now. It's kind of magical. Okay, back to what I was going to tell you about, which is this wall of shelving here. This is all done out of the stucco. They made it with plywood, and then they wire mesh wrap the entire thing to give me that sort of undulating, kind of crazy, primitive look to it that I just love so much. And I drew this all out on paper, measured it all out, and then the CarrMichael construction team built it for me, and then another team came in and did the stucco. But yeah, I just love having the space. You come in here, I love natural objects. I've been collecting them since I was a kid. So like selenite here, you know, keep things like paintbrushes, all of our crafting in here in baskets. I really love this space. It's got a lot of my favorite things, and most of them with a focus on nature. Oh, and all these crazy branches that you're seeing throughout our house, we have Russian olives, which are invasive. We have them everywhere, so we just hack at them and then bring them inside. I really like it. All right, I'm gonna take you, you didn't see my shepherd's crook. All right, guys, this is-
Wait, I'm just gonna pretend like this is normal.
Gotcha, this is
an 8-foot crook.
This is my shepherd's crook, and it's the perfect height. We had to kind of custom cut it. Dave got this for me. It helps me with the geese. They're a little unruly. They do better. You can kind of guide them a little bit. I'm very excited about that. It's a little weird. All right, so here's the powder room. This is one of the invisible doors that we have. They're a special type of door that you can create these invisible scenes with. And come on in here. I'm so excited about this room. This is where we really had fun with the plaster. I came in here, again, if you saw the vlog of the Meadow, I drew this with a pen or pencil. And then the plaster team, incredibly talented, came in. We did the mustard color up top, and then we did this lighter cream on the bottom. These curtains, believe it or not, are not custom made. They're vintage, and they just fit that perfectly on this window. Pretty as that. And then show you guys in here, we have this vanity, which is made from reclaimed wood. The window's still opening. And then the stone sink here, which I love. And then this really cool kind of modern looking misshapen mirror. And then I love the brass faucet. And then a really modern light. And then a vintage little plant or little leaf tree of life type thing for the hand towel holder. That's the word. Towel run, that's it. So yeah, that is this room. Oh, and then a little ceramic light here. All right, so come on into our bedroom. We have a first floor primary, which is so convenient. Also one of the reasons that we bought this house. And I love this place. It was all rearranged before. There used to be a bathroom there, and a closet over there, and the bedroom in the middle. We totally reconfigured it. You used to come into the bedroom near the front door. So we switched that out through the living room. But yes, this is our bedroom. One of the things that I love about it is we're in a very sort of private spot of the yard. And so we did this big old window, again, for that indoor-outdoor feeling. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see this on camera, you probably can, but the ceiling to the wall is a cove in here. So the whole thing is kind of curved for this really kind of cozy feeling. The plaster in here is a slightly darker color than the rest of the plaster. And here we have another blank wall because I just love the quiet vibe of it. Again, it's in our bedroom and I just don't want to see a lot of stuff in here. I like a minimal feeling, and that is another reason why we have so much storage in the house. I wanted to hide all of our clutter behind doors. So, okay, I'm gonna not really show this to you because I did stash a lot for here, but this is mission control. There's all of our stuff, our hammer and all the things we were doing to get ready. But there's a mirror in there, and then more bookshelves in here, and then shoes in here, where Dave's clothes in here. But again, it's all that storage that we have allowing the rooms to actually breathe and feel really minimal. And we've had this dresser, oh my gosh, for 12 or 13 years. That came with us. I did have this bed made for the house. It's a really kind of cool goldy mustard toile. And then also got this bench new for the house. All right, so over here we have this old tapestry given to us by our friends Paul and Nancy. Paul is amazing. He used to do all of our curtains, and I don't know, he thought that this seemed like something I would love, and it is. It's got the deer in it, which I absolutely love because we have a family of deer or multiple families of deer all over the property, so I felt like this is perfect. We hung this yesterday because we were doing this tour today. So again, thank you for coming to this tour so that I could get all the things that I was procrastinating done for you. Okay, but behind this is actually a frame TV. So we just have to remove it when we want to watch a movie, and there's a TV hidden underneath of there. And then we have this beautiful marble statue, and then this is one of my favorite pieces that we've had for many years, a mid-century kind of cool console table. And we have just a simple cowhide rug on the floor because our kids are in here a lot, and we do a lot of eating in here, which sounds kind of gross, but just is how life is. So for the doorway into the bathroom, I did another one of the arches, again, to bring that fairy tale into the house. And we had a pocket door. Oh, look at it. I am a huge fan of pocket doors because I don't close doors a ton, and so it stays open a lot. But oh, I should talk about these doors. So we had these doors custom made. They are white oak. Also, most of the woodwork throughout our house does not have any finish on it. So this is just raw white oak. If you're wondering what the finish is, there is none. I just love that feeling. I'm okay with eventually like oil and prints coming on the wood. I just think that's part of the beauty over time, just seeing that change. I love it. Okay, and this is why I really, really love my bedroom. We have this entire wall that just opens up here out to the back terrace. And again, this pockets in. We've got this that pockets into the glass or into the wall. And there's a whole piece here. This one doesn't go all the way because it hits the next set of windows, but I was okay with it not going all the way just to get this as much as we get it. These are great. They're really heavy duty linen, and I just put them on a track, so I actually had the wall pushed out 6 inches up there to allow for this track, and we can just do that at night. It's very hotel-like there. I'm not a big fan of electronics where I don't feel like they're needed, so a lot of people would want like the button push thing. I kind of like the romance of closing it myself, or Dave opening it and closing it at night in the mornings. There's something really tactile, just nice about that. So I don't know, I love it. See all the things are breezing right now in the wind. All right, this is my side of the bed over here. This is a really, really old Chinese piece, very primitive. And my favorite crucifix given to me by my dad. I grew up with that one, and he gave it to me, and that's really special. And just a charcoal painting here. Another really beautiful old Chinese lamp from Anton and Kay Antiques. And a little beefsteak. Grows everywhere, and it smells good. It is invasive, so again, we hack it down, and also you can make really good soup out of it. I love it. All right, so I think you've seen most of what's going on in our bedroom, so why don't you come on into the bathroom. I know I say a lot of rooms in the house are my favorite. This is definitely one of my favorites. The bathroom is huge. I feel like our bathroom is like Grand Central Station with all of these kids. I don't know why so many people end up in our bathroom, but that is just the way it is. So I wanted it to be big enough, almost like a locker room. We have a bench over here where I just like will sit down. I could do the girls' hair, and it's just nice to have such a big space. Dave and I do a lot of her morning talks in here. I don't know. So it's a great. I really wanted a large bathroom. That was important to me. Coming over here, this was a huge topic of debate whether to have the tub running this way as I had originally intended it, or to run this way. Which is what we obviously ended up going with. I think a lot of people thought we should run it the original way of intention, but I went for the function and how I knew I would feel when I was actually in the tub, and I'm so glad it's facing that way because we can sit this way and look right out the backyard to this beautiful, beautiful maple that's out there. And I'll show you here, I'll open these. You'll notice we have a mix of modern and antique windows in the house. So again, here's our fairy tale element, and they are a Cremone bolt, historical reproduction oak, again raw on the inside, and that's just so romantic to me. They are almost identical to the windows that we had at our old French house, the Alsatian house, that really inspired a lot of what was going on in here. And I just love them. And so anyway, back to the tub situation. I'm so happy that we're facing this way because when we're in the tub here, we just have this beautiful view out, and I'm really glad that we have that view. That was important to me because we'd had that in the old house and I loved it. Okay, so funny story about this tub. It is antique. It's copper. You can see how green it is. I am in love with this thing, but it does not have an overflow because it is antique. And so my daughter came in here and started running a bath. If you watched her vlog, you saw the flood in real time. It happened. And yeah, she just flooded the whole thing. So we've had to do some interesting things to make plumbing work in some of our antique and vintage pieces, and it's not always smooth. And I love these little fillers, hot and cold. They're so pretty to me. They're an unlacquered brass coming out from the floor. The floors in here are terracotta. They're the same floors we actually had in our old house, the Alsatian one. I just had them in our bathroom before. I loved them so much, and so I did them again in here. To me, this is what it's all about. I love lightweight curtains flowing in the breeze, that indoor, outdoor, easy breezy feel. I just love this house when it's all opened up like this. So I'm glad you're seeing it on kind of breezy days so you can see what I mean. Okay, the beams in the ceiling, and I didn't talk about this in the Orangery, but the beams in here and in the Orangery are antique French beams. And so I really love the character and the patina they give to the house. Again, it's got that storybook fairy tale vibe that I'm after, and I really love the warmth that they add to this space, which is a generally light and airy space. And so the depth and that grounding that the wood does, I really love it. Coming over here, you might recognize this marble. It is the same marble that is in our kitchen. This marble is from Turkey. This one came a bit chipped up as well. Again, I was fine with it. I think we have the chip somewhere to repair it. But I love the marble so much, and it's really hard to get this color here. And so I had the sinks custom made in Turkey, and yeah, they get damaged on the way over. But I was fine with it. Our faucet here is one of my favorites. It's by Atmosphere. A lot of the plumbing in our house is from Atmosphere. And James, who owns Atmosphere, made it out of vintage pieces for the handles. And it's just so, so beautiful. So they're really pretty, kind of hammered, unlacquered brass oval shapes. The walls in here, we had a lot of work to get these done. There had been a mistake and they somehow went green, but we got them to the plaster that we love. Another amoeba-ish kind of modern mirror here. And this branch has been here for a few months and dried out, and I just love how it dried. So this sconce actually matches a lot of the candle sconces that we have throughout the house, but this one is actually electrified. And so we have a few electrified ones upstairs. I didn't want the kids lighting candles upstairs. So I have some of those running through the hallways upstairs, and then where we needed the candle sconces, I went with the candle sconces. So it's really nice to take a bath and have the candles here. And you can see we get a lot of use out of these. You can see the black soot on there. But yeah, it's a great little way you can kind of do some electrified, some not electrified. I'll also show you that trick out there as well. Coming into this corner here, we do not have a traditional linen closet here, and so I just keep our extra towels and our extra sheets right up here. It does make me have to be good at folding, and I folded these even better than normal because I was going to show you. And we have the book photo shoot coming up next week. And under here, I just have a shelf where we keep toilet paper and additional supplies. And then here we have a white oak vanity made by CarrMichael Construction. They did a beautiful job. And this does have a finish on it because I knew it would be getting hit with a lot of water. This is our shower. I love, love, love our shower. We use the same stone that we have throughout the house in here. And I wanted this to have this kind of jagged, rough edge here. So we did that, kind of going around. And then it reminds me of a grotto there. We got that. And then inside the shower, we have two shower heads. They're unlacquered brass here. And then we have a barrel vault in here, which we really, really enjoy. We don't use the shower much in the summer at all, and then spring and fall, kind of, because we have, I will show you guys, an outdoor shower out here. All right, so this is why I love our bathroom so much. This out here is our secret outdoor shower garden. This is one of our favorite places. It is just so nice to wake up in the morning and shower outside, and then evenings. It really makes you feel one with nature, I'll say. I will show you guys something cool here. So these are lanterns that we got for a really good price, and we took the electrical out of them. And then inside of them, we put those little battery operated pillar candles. And so we can turn them on with a little remote control in the evenings. And it's really, really pretty, and they flicker. They make me really happy. And we did those as well when we walk up to the house. So we have parties and we're out in the courtyard at night, we turn them on and they kind of flicker. Originally I wanted gas, but then just thought about it kind of environmentally. I didn't realize that if you have gas, it actually stays on all night long. So I didn't want to make our bug population go down at all. We're trying to get as many insects as we can here. So gas was a no-go for the lanterns, and these work really well. Here is our true Hobbit door here. And this comes out, you can just kind of go through here. Comes out to the backyard here, so I love it. Fawn is my shadow. When it gets windy, she gets a little nervous. Come on, Fawny, let's go back in. Go inside. I don't know what she wants. What do you want? Why don't you like going back in there, huh? I'll lock that later. But yeah, this is one of our favorite spots in the house. It's the same stone on the wall that we have throughout, and on the floor it is the flagstone that we used in the laundry room. All right, thank you so much for joining me on part 1 of our home tour. I hope you enjoyed. If you like what you saw today, please hit like and subscribe to our channel. We've got lots more stuff like this coming up, including my client projects. So thank you again. I really appreciate it. Take care.